We'll chant Om 3 times followed by the invocation mantras. Om. Om. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Good evening and welcome back.
Thank you.
We are covering chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. One second. And in there, we were covering verses 19 and 20. That's what we covered in the last session. So, what was the thought flow in the past few shlokas is that Bhagavan is talked about there is a chakra, okay, a wheel of action. Annat bhavati bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyah yajnat karma samudbhavaha. So where anna, the food comes from, the other way around. The bhutas come from anna. Okay? All beings come from food. And then once anna comes from food, right? Then what happens? Sorry, food. Sorry. The jivas come from food, but however, the food itself comes from rain. Rain comes from yajna, and yajna is possible because of karma. And that karma, brahmotbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasma sarvagatam brahma nityam brahma yajne pratishtitam. So here, this karmas are coming from Brahma means here, the Brahma here is referring to Vedas. And the Vedas, okay, they are coming from Parabrahma. Therefore, what we must do is that, obviously, like Paramatma is fixed, Vedas are fixed. What is variable thing in this whole thing is performance of that yajna. So that means that anything, those Panchamaha yajnas that we talked about are the ones that we need to do. And then here, after Bhagavan gave this chakra, right? He said, Evam pravartitam chakram na anuvartanti yaha aghayur indriyaramaha Mogham Partha Sa Jivati. So here, Bhagavan was saying that whoever doesn't fall, because see, the thing is that because we are all in the cycle, there is no way we are independent. And we are dependent on Annam, for example. Okay. And because we are dependent on Annam, and Annam is coming from rain is coming from yajna, And if I don't do yajna, I'm not going to get annam.
Sure.
So I must do yajna. So that, and if I don't do yajna, what is my status? My status is I am a sinner.
Yeah.
Therefore, Partha tasmat asaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara. Asaktahi acharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. So, therefore, you must perform karma yoga. And how should you perform? As detached from all distractions, detached from the result of the action, and perform this action perfectly. And what happens? Why? Why should you perform karmanyeva hi samsiddhamasthitah janakadayah lokasangramevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. That's what the last shloka we have seen. That there are so many proofs of great men of this wisdom in the Jivan Mukta people. And Janaka was an example that was used in this. And now, what does it mean? People like Janaka, who are Jivan Muktas, they were doing karma.
Mm.
What to say about people like us who are not Jivan Muktas? We are not Jnanis. We are long way to go. So how can we not do karma yoga? Therefore, what we must do is all of us must perform karma yoga. Then loka sangraham. Okay, so that means sangraham here means welfare, right? Welfare of this world. Now, what happens is when this for welfare of world means what? Everyone has got an idol. Idol here we are not talking about Rama's idol or Krishna's idol, like not like that. Not Vigraha, idol as some person who we want to emulate. Usually we want to emulate someone who is great. Now, if the great person appears to be doing not a right thing,
Mm.
therefore what happens to the regular people?
Yeah.
Okay, in such case, they will fall into unrighteousness. And thereafter, what happens? There will be a suffering. Suffering for who? Not for the great person, okay, but for the suffering for the people. So think about Lord Rama and Mother Sita.
Mm.
Mother Sita was abducted by Ravana. When she was abducted by Ravana, Bhagwan Sri Ram found where she was hidden. Because with the help of Hanumanji and Vanar Sena, etc., he forged the alliance with Sugriva. He worked with all the Vanaras, etc. And then he even allowed Vibhishana, the enemy's younger brother, to join his camp. And then he attacked Ravana and he finished this entire Ravana Kula, with the exception of Vibhishana. Then when Mother Sita was coming to meet him, he did a Agni Pariksha.
Mm.
Now, as Bhagavan, he knows what is what. He doesn't need
Yeah.
Agni Pariksha. But that Agni Pariksha was done for the sake of the world,
Mm.
knowing fully well that she is going to pass. Now, if you look at Tulsi Ramana, etc., it is said that even before Mother Sita ji was kidnapped, of course, Lord Rama, knowing being all knower, he asked Mother Sita to go stay with Agni, and a form, the a parchai, they say, right? A form of Sita was there, and that form of Sita was one which is kidnapped. And during that Agni Pariksha, the original Sita has returned. That is another. saying is also there about it. So, but anyway,
Mhm.
that's not the point. So once he came to kingdom, there were murmurs in his kingdom. What? Sita Devi went and spent, I mean, like, some time in a Rakshasa's place for a year. And yet, Rama has brought her back. Maybe Rama was more infatuated by Mother Sita. That was the kind of murmuring was there. When that kind of a murmuring was there, what did Rama do? What choices does Rama have? Think about it.
Yeah, three or four choices. Yeah.
Okay, what are the choices? Okay, if you say three or four choices, what could be those three or four choices?
So the one choice would have been uh, to ignore the people knowing very well that Sita Mata is pure. That's one choice.
Mhm.
In which case he would then feel that he has not performed his duty as a Raja. His one of his duties to please the Praja, and by taking this option, he would keep the Sitaji, but then would displease the Praja. The
Mhm.
second choice that he would just give up the kingdom himself and along with Sita Mata just leave the kingdom. That was another choice. And of course, the third choice is what he selected because he as a Raja thought that his primary responsibility is to take care of the Praja
Mhm.
and therefore
Mhm.
just leave Mata Sita
Mhm.
the jungle.
Yeah. So, option number one, where if he ignores people, people feel that
Yeah,
he is not a righteous king.
very good. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the thing is that the second option, if he takes, which is like, resign from his duty, meaning like abdicate his responsibilities and give the kingdom to either Lakshmana or Bharata and goes away, what was wrong with that option?
Again,
He escaped from his duty.
Okay, so there is a possibility that you will still be blaming him that he escaped from his duty. So when you are in a binding situation, you take the easy option out. That is one way to criticize him. But there's also another downside of it. It is not just criticizing him alone. Between Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugnas, who is the most efficient ruler? Obviously,
Rama, of course, right?
Lord Rama is the efficient ruler. Now, if he goes away, the entire kingdom is deprived of the most efficient ruler and they get the second best. Okay? Now, when he took the oath to rule them and to take care of them, he cannot do this option.
Hmm.
Okay? Which is like, giving up and going away. That is not an option. That is for cowards.
Hmm.
The third option was sending her to forest where he knows that Maharshi Valmiki is going to take care of her and sending her away to forest. Now what happened is that if you ask anybody, they all say that Rama did a mistake
Hmm.
sending Mother Sita to forest.
Hmm.
Even now.
Yes.
But we also at the same time we believe in the divinity of Lord Rama.
Hmm. Hmm.
And for how much we love Lord Rama is shown with the struggle that as a nation, majority of Hindu community has gone through for rebuilding Rama Janmabhoomi.
Hmm.
So here is the dichotomy, right? On one side, we believe Lord Rama is Bhagwan, and yet we complain that Lord Rama made a mistake.
Hmm.
So in this process, what happened? Mother Sita's purity has been preserved. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody questions Mother Sita anymore.
Mm.
Why? The blame shifted to Lord Rama.
Mm.
That is a mark of a great leader.
Mm.
And so there, why I'm saying all of this is that is the example of a Loka Sangraham. For the benefit of for the benefit of Loka, Bhagwan sent Mother Sita away to forest. As a human being, he suffered. As a human being, she suffered. But of course, as divine beings, there is no suffering for them.
Mm.
Okay. And in this process, what happened? The dharma is firmly established. So that is what here, this lokasangrahamevapi. Okay. Sampashyan kartumarhasi. So even the Jivan Mukta Purushas, forget about Jivan Mukta Purushas. Bhagavan himself, when he came as an avatara, a Purna avatara, he has done karma for sake of Loka Sangraha.
Mm.
These Jivan Mukta Purushas like Janaka Maharaja, etc., they are doing karma yoga for Loka Sangraha. What to say about people like little beings like you and I?
Yes.
So that is why we must perform karma yoga. And then in the next shloka, I think we have covered this shloka also, right? Yadidashreshta tattad devo itara janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokam tattanu vartate. Did you cover this?
I don't.
We covered 19 and then
We covered 19 and we touched upon 20.
right.
Oh, okay.
I think
This one we haven't covered. Okay.
that
Because
is
I do
right.
remember like we talked about Janaka last week.
Yes, we
Yes.
talked about 21 is not covered.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, do you have any comments or questions about the uh, until what we have covered until now?
Looks relatively clear. Thanks to you. Yes.
Okay. So, I will.
The only thing is that I think you touched upon it. Generally, the word sangraha means to collect the things, right? So is the same sangraha here where you are,
Yeah. Mhm.
it's to collect the thing
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens is Sangraha, okay? Uh, sorry. Sangraham is actually collecting, yes, but also it also means it is bringing together, okay?
Mhm.
So bringing together is like, bringing Loka together, okay? So that means that, okay, so
Yeah.
one where there is no order, you are bringing order.
Mhm.
That is where Sangraha, right?
Mm.
So, because what happens when you, when like as adults, when we go out, kids make a mess.
Mm.
Okay, so when you come, you bring everything together, okay, and
Mm.
bring a shape to the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is also Sangraha.
Uh,
Okay, so the next shloka we'll do the breakdown. Yat
mhm.
yadacharati. So that there are three words in here. Yat, yat. So there are two yats. Yat and yat acharati. Shreshtas tatta devetaro. So that is Shreshtaha tat tat eva deva itaraha. So six words are there in there. Shreshtas tatta devetaro. But because we break in the middle of the after eight syllables, how do we break? Yadyadacharati shreshtaha. And then we say tat tat devetaro janaha. Okay. Sa yat pramanam. So yat and pramanam, two words are there. Yat pramanam kurute, single word. Lokas tadanuvartate. Lokaha tat anuvartate. So this is a breakdown. So one of you uh, please chant after me. Yadyadacharati shreshtaha
यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः
तत्तद्देवेतरो जनः
तत्तद्देवेतरो जनः
स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते
स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते
लोको लोकस्तदनुवर्तते
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते
श्रेष्ठः यत् यत् आचरति. So a Shrestha Purusha means a person who is a noble, a noble person who is admired in the society and held in the society with great esteem. Such a person is called a Shrestha. And now, if you want to become Shrestha, okay, whether it's in your company or whether it is in your community, can anybody become Shrestha?
No.
What does it take to become Shrestha?
follow the values in life.
You have to follow the values in life, and then and as part of following the values, you have to work hard too.
Mm.
Right? Lot of hard work has there, and you have to prove yourself. And it is not following the values in the right spirit with the right understanding. So that way you have a very good output, right? And once you prove all of that, and then you are in the limelight, right? And then what happens? Now, once you put all your effort, everything, right? Then you become a Shrestha. It says, it's right? So a while ago, I saw a say, it used to be, suddenly, I think probably it's part of some ad or something like that. I don't recall now. I used to see it quite a bit. Now I don't see that anymore. Is success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration.
Yeah, that was Einstein.
Oh, is
Either
it?
Einstein or Sir Isaac Newton, one of the two, or both.
Okay. So, yeah, so I used to see that. I mean, I think that was put as part of some marketing ad also. I think like I
Oh,
used to
I'm
watch
sure.
it,
Yeah,
and then it kind of like it's disappeared. So it is Einstein. Okay, great, thank you. So,
that's what I
so,
think.
so now what happens is that nobody sees that 99% perspiration that they had done. But but what happens is that when you see them in the limelight, you want to follow them. Okay, you want to become like them. Okay, you want to imitate them. So unfortunately, today what happens? I mean, like, okay, to forget about today. When we were young, who were our Shrestha Purushas were movie actors. Okay. If the movie actor like changes their hairstyle, we want to have that kind of a hairstyle. I remember, like in my childhood, going to a barber and asking like, I want a Amitabh Bachchan haircut. And then the thing is that like he said like okay you don't have like, good hair. I mean I used to have thin hair back then too, and I used to have shorter hair too.
Mhm.
So that what is called like a step cut or something like that, right?
Mhm.
So you don't have that kind of a hair to do that.
Mhm.
But what we want to do if Amitabh Bachchan had a haircut, we want that haircut.
Mhm.
If at that time if they were wearing what you call this bell bottoms, we wanted to wear bell bottoms.
Mhm.
Later on, what happened as I mean, because see, the thing is that we cannot simply blame our younger children now and say like, look how they are doing. We all did this kind of thing, right? So that's how we were growing up, and for us, and when my children were growing up, and when I went to their school here in US, generally like when you ask kids what do you want to do become when you grow up, what were their answers? I want to be a baseball player. I want to be a football player. I want to be like a Tom Brady, like that, right? Pretty
Yeah.
much. Then what happened? They're all sports stars. I mean, even in India also, yes, look, so many people wanted to become like a Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or whoever, right?
Mhm.
So it is there's nothing wrong in them. Like it's whether it is Amitabh Bachchan, whether it is Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar, they put a lot of effort. No question about it. But they have put effort in a particular field. Okay. And that particular field that they have put effort in is not, while it provides great entertainment to the society, it is not giving, I don't know, like I don't know, I don't even know if I can say that too, because if you look at IPL, etc., they are like all of them are like thousands of crores of enterprises where so
Mm,
many people have got livelihoods dependent on that. But
mm,
from a positive contribution, it is not something like a running a factory or producing something, right? There's no such thing, right? It's all like a circulation of money.
yeah.
So, that is not Shrestha Purusha. Okay. The Shrestha Purusha is
Like
someone who,
Tata, for example.
sorry?
Tata, Tata, Birla, Tata.
Yes, yeah, Tatas or Birlas or anyone who worked hard and because of their work, thousands of people are benefited around them, okay, in worldly life. And when it comes to spirituality, because of whom so many people are inspired and got few steps closer to liberation,
Mm,
right? Because why are we talking about suddenly these saints and swamins is simple. If an industrialist gives jobs to 1,000 people, that is great. Or as we say, right? Unka life ban gaya. Right?
mhm,
So in that way, those employees' lives are set, all set. Now, however, what happens is that as an infinite, as a jiva who doesn't have any beginning, right? Beginningless jivas, anadi jivas. What about next life? This life is done, but what about next life? Again, we have to go through, and again we have to depend on someone. But on the other hand, a Mahatma like Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji or Ramakrishna Paramahansa Swami Vivekanandaji, if they inspire someone to find their true nature, and because of that someone gets moksha, then they don't have to come back ever.
mm,
Yeah.
So that is why they are Shrestha Purushas of highest order.
mm,
Okay? So these Shrestha Purushas, Yat Acharati Shrestha, whatever these people do, what happens is Tattatevi Itarajanaha. That and that everybody follows.
mm,
Right? Now, see, the thing is that in this following, there are two aspects. One is that there's a blind followership.
mm,
Okay? There's a blind followership where like recently, I was reading in news that I don't know if you have experienced this when you went to movies back home in India. When a superstar's movie is released,
mm,
and as the movie in the theater, in the movie, when the superstar first appearance happens,
mm,
there'll be a lot of whistles, etc.
mhm.
Do you recall that?
Yeah, I think
A-
so. Yeah.
And then what they would do is that, like, I remember, like, the screen is in front and the projector room is in the back, so that uh, projection light is coming.
Mhm.
And so they would do is they will actually like bring lot of color papers, like toned color papers, and they throw into the air.
Uh,
Okay. So it's kind of like, it all falls and
uh,
right? So then that happens when, I mean, like when the hero enters, when the hero is singing songs, or when hero is fighting, or what you call like emotional dialogues are being told.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
there are a lot of visuals and these things are done.
Mm,
Now, it so happened that, okay, so the reason why I'm suddenly telling this is that in Texas, etc., where Texas, California, etc., where there are a lot of Indian population is there, they are doing the same thing.
Oh,
Okay, so much so that, okay, how do I know all of this? Is that an immigration attorney was saying, please stop doing this, because once you do that kind of a thing, suddenly there is an extra work for the theater personnel to clean up.
oh, yes, of course.
And they, anything, like if you, as an employee, what happens when you see theater is a lot more dirtier and
Yeah,
requires a lot more cleaning compared to the end, compared to after conclusion of a mainstream American movie.
yeah.
What is the opinion? What kind of opinion are they going to have about you?
Mm.
So here, what was happening is that whatever we were following in India, we brought those to US. So this is what we call as a blind imitation.
Yes.
Okay, so this kind of a blind imitation has done because your whatever like your idol was there, that idol was not Shrestha.
Mm.
Okay, that is something other than the Shrestha. When you do that and you blindly follow that, what happens? There is a hatred towards
Mm.
the community. Now, the thing is that for you, it was news when I told you what is happening.
Mhm.
For me, it was news until when I read it.
Mm.
But the people on the road, when they see our color, they are not going to say, "Oh, this person did not go to movie. He did not tear and throw the dirty like the papers into the air." All they say is that okay, this person is from that community who are likely to do these things.
Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. Gotcha. That is true. That
Okay.
is true.
So
Everybody's branded. Yeah.
so that's why we have to choose our Shrestha properly.
Mm.
So there is one side of this, right? And why do really people do this? I mean, like let us say if a Shrestha Purusha is there, okay, why should we imitate? Is that because of the right kind of faith in the Shrestha Purusha.
Mm.
What do you mean by the right kind of faith in the Shrestha Purusha? When the choice of your Shrestha Purusha, I keep on saying Purusha, Purusha. Please, Purusha doesn't mean
Oh, man, we understand
man.
that.
Okay,
Human
here
being,
person.
mankind,
Okay,
mankind. Yes.
okay. So when a Shrestha person he does something, that means that this person can never do wrong
Mm.
in any aspect. So if facing a situation, if this person has reacted in this manner, then that is the type of reaction I should have too.
Mm.
Okay, so this is kind of this belief, right? Yadyata charati shrestha tatta devetaro janaha. So here,
Mm.
that kind of a belief when you have, okay, so then what happens? You are following in the footsteps of that Shrestha Mahatma, and then you uh, progress.
Mm.
Right? For example, you all remember the story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, right? That one mother one day comes and asks and tells that my son always eats jaggery, so please ask him to not to eat jaggery.
Mm.
You know the story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They
So,
ask parents not to eat jaggery, right? Is
sorry?
that they ask parents or mom to not to eat jaggery, so that
I
No.
haven't heard this story.
Okay, so let me finish then. Okay. So what happens is that there is an anecdote from Ramakrishna Paramsaji's life that one mother brings her child and says that this child is eating too much of jaggery. Please tell him not to eat because uh, you are Bhagwan. If you say, you great Mahatma, he will listen. That's my intent. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji looks at the mother and the child and tells the mother, please bring your child after 2 weeks.
Mm.
2 weeks or a month, I don't recall exactly. And then the mother, with faith, again, she brings the child after that period. Then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa looks at the child and says, Beta, please don't eat jaggery. And the child, whether he continued to eat jaggery or not, I don't know, but he simply nodded. Okay, I won't eat jaggery, uncle, like that. Or Swamiji. Right? So then, that's all happened. Then the mother got confused. Why did you ask me to wait for a
What?
month? Yeah, you could have said the same thing last time itself.
Nice.
So then Ramakrishna ji said, Amma, I also eat lot of jaggery. When I eat jaggery, lot of jaggery, how can I tell the kid that not to eat jaggery?
Mhm.
So I must stop first.
Mhm.
So in the last period, right, the 2 weeks or a month period that I asked you to wait and come back, in this period, I stopped eating jaggery. Now I have a right to say, don't eat jaggery.
Mm.
Right? So this is a lakshana, the characteristic of a Shrestha. So now, if such a Shrestha person, whatever he is doing or she is doing, that must be right alone. So that is why we can blindly follow such Shrestha Purusha as long as we choose that right Shrestha Purusha. So now, what is the point here? Bhagavan is saying is, Sayat Pramanam Kurute Loka tat anuvartate. So yat pramanam kurute. So like whatever standard, pramanam is standard, okay? Whatever standard this Shrestha Purusha sets up. So
Mm.
when he sets up a standard, how does he sets up a standard? His thinking is right. And he sets a standard of thinking. His output, his actions are correct. And he sets up a standard in terms of how to uh, face certain situations. So when those things are set up as a standard, what happens? Lokaha tat anuvartate. The rest of the crowd follows it implicitly. Now, when that is done, right? In fact, we studied Taittiriya Upanishad a while back, okay, maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
In that, it is said that when you go to a new place, in the first, mm, like it has three parts. In the first part, it says that whenever you go to a new place, and you cannot say like, okay, my way of life is right. The way I do is right. So what we must do is that you have to go seek the counsel of the wise person who is there. Whatever they say, that is the right thing there. Right? Do you know if you recall that? No? Okay.
Just go, yeah. No, that's right. No, I don't recall that. Yeah.
No worries. This is said even in Taittiriya Upanishad also. That because what happens is that dharma, etc., is usually based on what? There is a swadharma, but dharma is also based upon varna and ashrama.
Mm.
So our due, and then also based on location, also dharma changes. Say, for example, in South India, can you enter temples with socks? It is frowned upon. Okay. But in North, it is allowed. It is expected
Mm.
because in North it is extremely cold and
Mm.
Now, in those temples, like with the cold stones, if you keep walking and if you're staying there for a long time, you'll unnecessarily catch some kind of fever or illness, sickness.
Mm.
So, what is right in North may not be right in South or vice versa. Okay. So, in these cases, what happened? The dharma is not just based on ashrama or varna, it is also based upon the location. And how do you know what is right and what is not right? Even like, when we go to uh, what do you call like a new location or something like that, or new party, we'll be observing how people are behaving so that we can emulate them, right? What kind of subjects they're talking about. Okay, so maybe are they talking about sports? Are they talking about finances, or rather than like stock market, what etc. is being talked about? And then you see, like, okay, so this circle is like this circle is like this. Okay, so in this circle, they usually prefer to do like this. Right? So, and then you adapt accordingly. Like another, I mean, like a simple example is that we used to have satsangs, in-person satsangs, and we used to have food pretty much at every place, right?
Mhm.
Dinner and movie, right? Dinner and satsang we used to have. So when we had that dinner and satsang, how would you decide what kind of food you need to make, how much food you need to make, how many dishes were you make was based upon how many dishes the previous person has done, right?
Sometimes that's true, yeah.
So that is where the standard is set.
Mhm.
So this setting up of the standard is not just limited to Shrestha Purusha alone. Okay.
Mm.
From an absolute perspective, Shrestha Purusha is, hey, Bhagwan alone is Shrestha. After Bhagwan, a Jivan Mukta is Shrestha. But this Shrestha is such a thing that in an office, the CEO is Shrestha.
Mm.
Because whatever CEO's vision is, that is what everybody implements. Right? And in school, your seniors are Shrestha. Like you want to you want to follow whatever your seniors are doing. At home, the younger child is following the older child.
Mm.
Because for the younger child, the older child is Shrestha Purusha.
Mm.
So in this manner, everybody is Shrestha for someone else. So all of us are Shrestha in one way or other. With respect to what? With respect to that, there is someone who is watching us. And because they are watching us in some aspect, I must be careful. We must be careful so that we don't give any wrong impressions to anybody.
Yeah.
And we must lead by example. Puja Gurudev says values are taught, not taught, but caught.
Mm.
That is the thing that he says in for Bal Vihar program, right? So it is not based on what we say, but based on what we do. Because if the dad is smoking, the child's play thing is what? He'll take a pencil or a pen and he'll hold and he'll say,
Mm.
who we say, right?
Mhm.
So this is how the people will catch. Now, why is Bhagwan saying all of this? Because see that like few shlokas ago, what did he say? When Brahmaji created this loka,
Mhm.
right? This world, what happened at that time? He told that you all should cooperate, and with the yajna, spirit of yajna, you should, grow, right?
Mhm.
Prosper. Now, Brahmaji is your first elder. Okay, so just like you follow the instructions of the will of your father or grandfather, who just passed away. In the same way, here is the grandfather, great grandfather for the entire, not just mankind, but entire jivas. We must follow his will.
Mm.
But Brahmaji is too far away from me.
Yeah.
Too far removed away from me. Okay. How about this? Janakas, etc. He's Kshatriya, you're Kshatriya. You must have heard about him. You may actually belong to his dynasty too. I mean, like his lineage as well. So
Mm.
do like that. Yes, yes, yes. My dad and I are different people, two different people. Don't tell me about what my dad does. Okay. I am an independent person. Okay. I am not like my dad, so don't tell me that. So then he's saying, okay, forget about Janaka. You yourself are a Shrestha. Now, if you don't do karma yoga, and if you don't follow the responsibilities that are given to you at this moment, at this location, in this war, in this fight, and if you walk away, how many of those soldiers may be looking at Arjuna and thinking that I want to be like Arjuna
Oh, yeah.
in Pandava's army? And what are they going to do? What happens to them? So you are Shrestha for all of them. You are a great warrior. You are Maharadhi. Right?
Yeah.
So in there, like there are like there are gradations in terms of Artharadhi, Radhi, Maharadhi, Atiradhi, like that. Okay, and there are very few Maharadhis in entire Kurukshetra, maybe like less than 10 people or so, and Arjuna is one among them, Maharadhi. And so everybody wants to be like you, and if you are not going to do Karma Yoga, how can anybody do Karma Yoga? So that is the point that
Oh, okay. Very good.
Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna. So, any comments or feedback on this shloka?
It's well explained.
So basically, be the best version of yourself.
Sorry?
Be the best version of yourself.
That is correct. It's the best version of yourself, and yeah, so
Yeah, it's like one of the reasons that
Yeah. The
the
version that others
motivation
are not
to be
like
Shrestha.
best version of yourself. Interesting. Think about that. Sure.
so then we will go to the next shloka.
Sure.
Na me, first I'm breaking down the words, okay? Parthasasti, okay? Partha and asti becomes parthasti. Kartavyam. Kartavyam is single word. Trishu lokeshu kinchana. Nanavaptamavaptavyam. So that is na anavaptam avaptavyam. Three words. Na and anavaptam becomes nanavaptam, and along with avaptavyam will become nanavaptam avaptavyam. Varta eva cha karmani. So this is the breakdown. So Hiraji, do you want to repeat the shloka after me? न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम्
न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम्
त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन
त्रिषु लोकेश किञ्चन
नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यम्
नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यम्
वर्त एव च कर्मणि.
वर्त एव च कर्मणि.
So now what happens is, when people, if you are dejected and your friend or your well-wisher comes and says, don't worry. You can do this. I know you can do it. What will you say? Oh, it is so easy for you to say that I don't think I can do it. So this is how our reaction will be. Okay? So when Bhagavan said, यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठ तत्तद्देवेतरो जनः सयत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकः तदनुवर्तते. When said, so therefore Arjuna, you are also a Shrestha, be careful. Arjuna's mind may not be ready to grasp and accept that I am Shrestha Purusha. Right? Now, it so happened that many a times, it's interestingly, many a times, not one time, okay? Whenever I went to buy a car, so if I go to Subaru car dealer and I'm looking at Forester, say, invariably the salesman will say, yes, I too have a Subaru, but not Forester, but like some other model, but I have that Subaru. When I go to Toyota and then I'm buying a Sienna, right? They say, I already have a Sienna. It's a very good car. I drive it for past 3 years. If I go to Mercedes, they say that, yes, I have, I'm looking at E-Class. They say, yes, I have a C-Class. I'm running, driving it.
Yeah.
It runs very well. So no matter which car company, a car dealership that I went to, they all said that. Now there is a possibility that they believe in what they are selling and they bought and they are using it. Okay. And what is the purpose? What is the intent behind saying that statement, making that statement? Is trust me. I have that one. I know I did. Okay. So you can take my word for it. I'm not just speaking. I actually followed what I'm saying. Okay. So that is the intent of that particular statement. Right. So because why is it important? Now let us say if you're looking for a new professional help, right? Okay, so that could be cleaning, house cleaning people. Okay, then you will say, hey, by the way, Venkat, I know like you guys have someone who cleans your home. How are they doing, etc. Right? And I say, yes, I'm using them. It is good. They're good people. You can rely on them, and then you will try to contact them. And some cases probably about financial services or maybe about a health related referral or something like that. This referral becomes very, very important. Why? Because in referral, we like the US coin says, in God we trust, in
Yeah.
referral we trust. Right? So here, now what Bhagavan is saying in this shloka is that he is giving a referral. Okay? You may not trust about yourself. How about I give you a referral? Who? Me. Okay? Nah, look at me. Okay? Arjuna, you know, do you know, Bhagwan, Lord Krishna is Bhagwan himself, right? So his enemies used to consider himself as a Mayavi, whereas great Mahatmas like Bhishma, Pitamaha, Vidura, etc., even though they are like a lot more years older than Lord Krishna, they prayed to Lord Krishna as Sakshat Swayam Bhagwan. Right? He was the greatest Shrestha Purusha of that time. Now, for Arjuna, etc., they know the greatness of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna saved them from so many problems, right? So when they were about to be burnt in that uh, house that was made up of that what is it?
Lacquer.
Lacquer. Okay.
Wax, right?
Yeah.
Wax.
Yeah. You know what I'm speaking about, right?
Yes, yes.
Lacquer. Okay. So that girl is burnt, right? So because of him, they were all saved. When Draupadi is being about to be disrobed in the uh, whole sabha, because of him, even if he was not present physically in that sabha, he was the one who saved her. Now, all of this, and then during Vanavasa, there's a story where Durvasa Muni comes and they were very hungry and there's no food. And then he comes to Draupadi Devi and asks if there's any, at least one food
Horse.
grain is there left over, cooked food grain. And she said, when she looks into the patra, there's one, and he eats that, and this Durvasa and his 10,000 shishyas, they were like totally full and they couldn't eat anything and they just went back, right?
That way, yeah.
He saved this Pandava so many times. So Arjuna knows that Lord Krishna is Bhagwan himself. And for this Bhagwan, what kind of duties does he have? Nothing.
Mhm.
And yet, he is engaged in action. This is something that I want to give the context
Yes.
because the thing is that like when you just read the translation,
Yeah.
so what kind of a thing, right? So that's why I want to give the context, and then we'll talk about it in next session, next Thursday.
Very good. Very good.
So, any comments or anything like that before we close?
I like your background.
Thank you.
Hmm.
So then let's conclude. Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om